This is about Trump wanting to do a power grab. This is about Trump's obsession with the military. You can pretend it's about. You think it's because Trump cares about crime in D.C. Really? Because I remember Donald Trump on January the 6th, 2021, not giving a crap about crime in D.C.
Now for January 6th. Okay, Mehdi, come on. Okay, the fact of the matter is you can't have an argument. You can't have an argument about what's happening on the streets of D.C. without going back to January 6th.
Because it's about
you won't talk about actually the crime.
Donald Trump, Leland. No,
it's not. It's about how to have people be safe.
What's wrong with you people?
You know, a few months ago, I was in Union Station and saw a body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator in Union Station because there was a murder right in front of me. Up on the second floor, I was going to get a tie, and I heard the shots and saw the body hit the floor. So I've been listening all day long to people trying to make some argument that Washington, D.C. is a safe place. It's not a safe place. And we can argue about statistics and numbers. There's a police commander right now on suspension because there's some allegation that the statistics have been altered. But we can argue about that all day long. Nobody in their right mind who lives there or visits there on a regular basis would tell you that Washington, D.C. is safe, and everybody who goes there knows it. What the president is responding to today is, what can I do today? D.C. is the only city I really have control of, so I'm going to try to give them some support. He's getting a note of confidence from the D.C. police union. I suspect if they did things in other cities, other police unions in those cities would also offer some support. And so what I would simply say is that all you can do is hit the next shot. And the next shot right now, I think for a lot of Americans is, what can be done today to reduce violent crime and to make me feel safer in my neighborhood? I think he's going to get a lot of political support for the idea that the federal government's getting a little more muscular when it comes to cracking down on violent crime.
I'm just ecstatic. I've been saying that a long time ago. The federal government should take over the D.C. Police Department.
Leroy Thorpe is a native Washingtonian who founded the volunteer group Citizen Organized Patrol Efforts, also known as the Red Hats. They walk the streets of Chinatown doing violence prevention work.
With the mayor being in power so long, I think she's kind of used to how things are going, and I think Donald Trump really wants to clean it up, and I'm all for it.
During this morning's White House press briefing, Attorney General Pam Bondi spoke about one high-profile murder in the district from 2023. That was the case of Reggie Brown, an elderly man with cancer who was beaten and killed on Georgia Avenue by 5 teenage girls, ages 12 to 15. Social media messages revealed in court indicated they did it because they were bored.
No more crime rampant in our beautiful capital. No more teenage girls beating a disabled man to death. No more of that.
Brown's sister Nazia tells News 4 she was glad to see her brother's case got the Trump administration's attention.
I was very happy to hear that. Very happy. He's trying to make a change. He's trying to do something about it and make the city safer.
Nazia says she wants to see harsher punishments for juveniles who commit murder. Right now, they can only be held until they turn 21.
When I heard the news today, and he mentioned my son, not by name, and mentioned the others who have been victims of violent crime, I was so happy. And I looked at Eric's ashes, and I said, Eric, you haven't died in vain. Things will change so other people are safe when they go visit DC or work in DC. And that's my goal, to make people safe. And they were all, President Trump was 100% spot on with what he said.
From drug deals
at a shooting here 2 days ago
to bullets flying not far from where kids were playing at the Kennedy Rec Center.
What can we do to make sure that it's safe for the kids?
Neighbors from the Shaw, Mount Vernon Square, and Mount Vernon Triangle neighborhoods say they're fed up.
In the past 4 weeks, we've had 3 shootings.
Stephen McCarty is the ANC for the area. He organized this week's public safety walk.
We need to bring everyone together because this is happening here.
On hand to hear their concerns, D.C. Police 3rd District Commander Sean Connors.
And I can tell you right now, we have less shootings here than we had at this point last year.
He told them that by the numbers, crime is down. In fact, D.C. police say crime is down across the entire city.
Does anyone here actually think that?
But if you ask these D.C. neighbors,
it shows such a lack and disconnect between what you're trying to sell versus what we're experiencing?
We've been talking so much about the numbers, and yeah, usually that's how you play devil's advocate, is you talk about, oh, well, stats say crime is down. However, I can tell you firsthand here in downtown D.C. where we work, right here around our bureau, just in the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot. 1 person died, literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau. It was within the last 2 years that I actually was jumped walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning, one of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day because we're all experiencing it firsthand while working and living down here.
So starting today at 12 giant grocery stores in D.C. and Maryland, if you have a bag over 14 inches, you cannot take it inside the store. So what does that look like? Here's a backpack, 14 inches. This one can't go in. Also, if you're under 18 years old, you cannot go into this store after 6 p.m. without an adult. Giant store leaders say it is all because of thieves, and shoppers we spoke to say all these new rules, these are a small price to pay.
It's a private business. They can set their own rules. Yeah. If you don't like it, shop somewhere else. It would also keep prices down for us as a consumer. And I think the stores are trying to do the best that they can to help the consumer out. And if that's what it takes, then that's what they have to do.
I'm for anything that works. If it makes anything better for the community, and if it works for the kids to keep the kids from coming in, I think because you should teach the kids not to steal. So
simple, right?
Yeah, anything that works for the community and everybody else.
It's unfortunate because apparently a lot of theft has been happening, and that's the reason why. So they got to do something. Otherwise, we won't have a giant. So to prevent it from closing, I don't blame them. They got to do what they got to do.
Let's be clear about what's going on here. Donald Trump says that he is taking control of the Washington, D.C. police force today because violent crime is out of control in the capital city. But you know what are the 2 cities in America with the highest rates of homicide? It's not Washington, D.C. It's St. Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee. Those are cities in 2 states run by Republican governors.
Isn't it interesting that he chose to use 2 cities like the top 2? That's because the 3rd city is in Maryland, it's Baltimore, and the 4th city is Washington, D.C. Just to round off the top 5, the 5th city is Jackson, Mississippi. But notice, he specifically said this.
Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee. Those are cities in 2 states run by Republican governors.
So he said those are 2 cities in 2 states that are run by Republican governors. Who runs the cities? Oh, a mayor. Guess who has control of the police force in each one of those cities? The mayor. Guess who has a direct impact on city ordinances and policies? The mayor. Who has the prosecutorial partnerships within that city primarily? The mayor. Governors set statewide rules, but mayors shape the daily policing strategies, not governors. Notice how he tried to pull a little sleight of hand. It's blue cities ran by Democrats in red states. But here's the kicker. So of those top 5 cities that I just listed off, St. Louis, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Jackson, Mississippi. I want you to guess, when do you think the last time St. Louis, Missouri had a Republican mayor? Guess. 1949. Guess the last time Memphis, Tennessee had a Republican mayor. 1967. The last time Baltimore, Maryland had a Republican mayor? 1967. Washington, D.C. has never had a Republican mayor. And the last time Jackson, Mississippi had a Republican mayor was 1969. So he only listed the first 2 cities because it was how he could try to push a narrative. If he would have listed the top 5, he would have had to admit that Washington, D.C., the capital of our country, is in that top 5. And then on top of that, he tries to act like Democrats are not the ones running these cities. But he wasn't done. Let's let this senator continue. Yes, this is a senator for Connecticut.
This isn't about the safety of the people of Washington, D.C. This is about a president who is desperate to distract the conversation in this country away from what he is doing to monetize the White House, to make
running the same tired Democratic playbook. Let's try to find a way to demonize Donald Trump. That is their play. That's it. The top 5 cities for murder and violent crime are all ran by Democrats. They all have Democratic mayors. And rather than paying attention to that nuance, which he's not dumb enough to not know that, he knows a mayor runs a city, which is why he chose to talk about governors and not mayors, because he knew the Democrats are the mayors in these cities. But the goal is to manipulate people into thinking that Republicans have bad policies, and that's why these cities and Republican states have such violent crime. These people do not care about being honest. They care about bashing Donald Trump, and they care about winning. There is no reason that the capital city of our country should be top 5 in murder and violent crime. And that has been happening on Democrats' watch. It's just crazy because if you really think about what he did, he only focused on the top 2 cities, which are in Republican states, so he could talk about Republicans. And then he specifically mentioned governors so he could talk about Republicans instead of actually talking about the people who run the cities, which are mayors, and they're all Democrats. Because if he was being honest, he couldn't have a narrative to bash Donald Trump and try to get people to hate Republicans. Absolutely wild.
Our murder rate is like 5 times at least higher than New York City. We've got one of the highest murder rates in the country. We were the 4th largest a couple years ago. It continues. And what we've got here are people that are not even making complaints about the quality of life crimes, whether it's shoplifting or damaging property or an attempt at a carjacking. They don't even call the police. We're not even seeing most of the crime that's occurring. And the clearance rate on homicides, Sean, is a joke. These cases are not being solved. And so the message is, if you want to commit a crime, do it in D.C. because they're not going to solve the case. Bring in someone younger to commit the crime, and we'll end up letting you go because the U.S. attorney can't get her hands on you. That's all going to change under President Trump. We're going to make D.C. safe, and we're going to make it beautiful again. And make no mistake, this president has a constitutional right to protect the people in this district and to make us safe. And until he came along, it was just going along and, oh, yeah, maybe it got a little better this year, but it's never good enough. It's never peaceful enough. And that's the problem with D.C. and these apologists who say, oh, we're not as bad as we used to be. Nonsense. It's time for us to get rid of crime and make criminals accountable. And that D.C. council, those laws that they pass are absurd. They are defense-oriented, they are criminal-focused, and the criminals know it.
And you said we're going to start seeing the National Guard this week. Mm-hmm. Tell us more.
This week and in coming weeks. And we're going to work right alongside our law enforcement partners as force multipliers. This is what the American people voted for, Laura. This is what the common sense, clarity, strength.
Look, let's be honest in this country. All the race baiters on both sides. It's just like overseas in these wars and everything else. If we have peace, they are out of power. They are in business to stir it up, both sides, left and right. And that's on me, and that's on you all at CNN as well. Because, I mean, look what's happening in Cincinnati right now. These people got the heck kicked out of them, could have died right there, and now some folks are hollering at these folks that got beat up that it was their own fault. It's their business to stay in power. If we have peace, if we start listening to the Bible and going to church on Sunday and holding our brothers' hands and talking to them about this stuff's over, but they don't want it over. They want to stay in power, and they continue preaching this hate on both sides. We gotta cut that stuff out, man. We got too many big fish to fry. And in this world, look at the Middle East, look at Ukraine, all that. If peace breaks out, Putin and Zelensky are out of power. Look what happened to Winston Churchill. Carried England. He saved the world literally. And then right after they kicked him out. It's just a game with these folks, and it's a moneymaker, and it keeps them in power. And it's a shame because the poor people get used and abused, and it's wrong.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring that notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. If you liked what I'm doing over here, you want to show a little extra love and support, be sure to check out our website down below, crownandthread.com. That's where you can grab all the awesome clothes you see me wearing in all of my videos, like this one of Psalm 46:10. They're all made by my beautiful wife, tons of different designs to choose from, Christian, conservative. We've got sizes ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, bunch of different colors. It's all gooder than chicken to me, but of course I'm biased. I'm sure we've got something that you look great rocking or that'll make an awesome gift for someone that you love. We also sell some pretty sweet woodworking pieces made by my father-in-law, so definitely go check those out as well. If you'd like to support in other ways, you can buy me a coffee, hit the thanks button. You can become a Gibson family member right here on YouTube. All those links are down below. But listen, by no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching my freckled face rant at you for a few minutes each day, it means the world to me, y'all. Seriously, I appreciate you. I love y'all. And I truly can't thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. Whether you've been with me since my music reaction days or you're a recent supporter, by the grace of God, through Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and with y'all's support, my life couldn't be any better. Seriously. So thank you. Until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.